Hello, friend. Happy Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. I'm back on the camera today to continue the conversation about anxiety. Last week, I came out as somebody who has struggled with high function anxiety. Most people, most of us who have identified in the past or still identify yourself as a high achiever, high driven person, high goal oriented person, perfectionist, most likely you are running uh, with anxiety and you're a high function anxiety person. So, again, disclaimer, I am not speaking about pathological anxiety here. I'm not talking about generalized anxiety disorder or PTSD. That's not my scope of practice. I'm talking about um, the epidemic of stress, right? We are a society who is stressed out. So, stress in our society here in America and other countries shows up in the form of anxiety, in the form of overwhelm, and in the form of depression. That's what I see the most. Now, of course, depression, anxiety are complex topics because, again, it can be clinical. It can be clinical depression, can be clinical anxiety. In that case, you need to be working with a psychiatrist. And I recommend you work with a holistic, with a very open-minded psychiatrist that can also use holistic approaches to get to the root of the depression, of the root of the anxiety. What I deal with the most, it's clients dealing with anxiety that are coming from limiting beliefs. Okay. Those are my clients. That was me. Those are my clients who have rooted, deep seated limiting beliefs, unresolved trauma in the body, unresolved negative emotions in the body, leading to anxiety, but most likely limiting beliefs. So, a lot of times we look at anxiety as the cause of our stress, the cause of our overwhelm. Anxiety is not the cause. Anxiety, number one, is not a personality trait. Okay, you are not stuck with anxiety. Anxiety is an emotional state. Is your body basically locked in an emotional state and you can get out of there? So, number one, anxiety is not a personality trait. You can change that. Anxiety is not the cause. Anxiety is the effect, is the byproduct of us living in survival. It's the byproduct of living with false limiting beliefs, okay, that you try to live up to. And of course, you're never there. Let me give you an example here. Perfectionism. If you are a perfectionist and you constantly bring imperfections into your work, you're never there. There's no such a thing. You perfect compared to what? There is no definition, really. There's no association with being perfect. So it's something that you're constantly chasing and you never feel you there. So that's an example of a limitation. Another example is the lack of definition of what is enough. So let's say you constantly chasing the money, you constantly setting goals and chasing more goals because you have never defined what is enough. So you constantly chase. It's like you're constantly chasing the carrot, but you don't feel you ever have the carrot. So you always on the go, right? That leads to anxiety. Okay. I'll give a great example of a client that I work with today. Is somebody who struggles a lot of anxiety. And finally, after about working with her for 6 months, she's starting to break the pattern of anxiety. She's trying to come out of this state of anxiety. I can see her physiology when she walks into my office. But I was working something with her today, and we got to another fold of anxiety because sometimes it's not just one belief, it's several beliefs. And once you identify all the beliefs, then there's strategies involved to release those beliefs, to release the energy of those beliefs out of the body. because just identifying that on a piece of paper is a good start, but it's not enough. You have to go to the energy, find in the body where the energy, that belief is, and release that. Okay, more. I'll share a little more about that later. But this is what my client was struggling when I got her to sink in and dropping into her body through a guided meditation. She revealed to me that she was feeling anxiety in the body. We identified the place, was around the belly. And then I asked her, what is the belief feeding the anxiety, the root, right? The cause. And she said to me that is the belief that she always needs somebody to take care of her because she doesn't know what she's doing. We can translate that into fear, yes, in the form of insecurity. And we all have insecurity, right? How many times we just want somebody to come to us and take over? Like a lot of times in my business, I want also somebody to just take over my marketing completely, to take over the money part, and I just got to coach, right? So we all have those insecurities. But that was the root today. So we did some work, we did some release work, we did some inner child healing there. And by the time she left my office after an hour, she was in a state of calm and peace. The anxiety wasn't there. And I taught her to do the same thing we did here today every time the anxiety showed up. So this is just to give an example. The anxiety is not the cause. So when you go to a doctor and ask a pill to take care of your anxiety, you're not taking care of anxiety. You most likely numbing the feelings, putting a band-aid in the anxiety so you don't have to deal with anxiety anymore. And by the way, my client who deals with anxiety takes medication for anxiety. I'm not against medication. I'm not against medication for anxiety or depression. There's place and time for them. They need to be monitored and should be used for a limited amount of time. And then regarding anxiety, especially because it's not your personality trait, it's a conditioning. You're locked in a survival state, you can resolve. If it's coming from deep childhood trauma, you need to find a psychiatrist, a psychologist well-trained in trauma. If it's not deep trauma, it's just the conditioning from limiting beliefs, you can work with a coach like myself and other coaches out there that are trained in hypnosis, trained in NLP, neurolinguistic programming, or holistic life coaches like myself who know how to address that type of anxiety, okay? So most people are running anxiety simply because of traumas from the past. Big traumas, small traumas, but always a trauma. A trauma is any time that we had a negative experience in the past with a high emotional charge, okay? And it doesn't have to be necessarily, a big thing. It can be simply a moment that you spoke up in your class when you were a kid and you were teased. And in that moment, maybe you decide, you know what, I'll never speak up again because when I speak up, I get teased. It can be as small like that. That I can see it's a trauma because you spoke up, you earned your joy, spoke up, and you were teased because you spoke up. In that moment, you made a limiting belief. You created a decision, a limiting decision to never speak up your truth again, because when you speak up, you are teased, you felt embarrassed. Well, and then you become adult, and then you don't know how to communicate in relationships because you had that belief a long time ago. So this is an example how we can carry these limiting decisions, limiting beliefs in the body, and they create anxiety. Anxiety is the byproduct. So we need to heal that. Healing, as you've been watching, following my videos, healing, it's not a luxury. To me, healing is a necessity. First of all, necessity for ourselves, because what healing really means? Healing means freedom. Healing means you get to be your authentic self in this present moment. You don't live in your past. You don't live in your future. You live here in the present moment in a space that you feel free to be you, to do the things that you love. You don't have past limitations that are holding you back and keep you on a level of mediocrity. You don't live in fear, okay? Because you're free. So basically, healing is a state of freedom, freedom from fear, freedom from your past. And you get to decide the person you wanted to be, the things you want to do in your life that brings you joy, so you can have the things you want in your life. So healing give us the ability to tap into potential possibilities, all the potential possibilities. When we heal, we have the ability to see the world with clear lenses. We get to perceive the world as a place of infinite potential and possibilities. If you don't heal, it's basically you looking at the world from the lenses of suffering, the lens of pain, the lenses of limitations. So that's why you need to heal. Also, you need to heal because when you heal, you don't have toxic energies, heavy, dense energies that come from negative emotions that you hold in your body, like resentment, guilt, shame, embarrassment, hurt. Those emotions in the body become like these black bags that can affect your health. There are plenty of books that explain the connection between the mind and the body and how carrying negative emotions for a long time, especially anger, can cause autoimmune diseases, even cancer. So it is our highest interest to heal. And because we are nature and nature is always seeking balance, you get to see your imbalances when you experience some of these emotions. So if you experience chronic anxiety, a lot of anxiety, it's just a way for your beautiful, gorgeous body to tell you, hey, you carrying some limiting beliefs, some negative emotions in your body that are causing anxiety. By the time you have anxiety, it's just your body saying there's stuff that you need to deal with. So your body is doing you a favor. It's an invitation. If you're experiencing a lot of sadness, a lot of depression, boom, it's your body telling you there's a lot of sadness and anger in your body that you need to release. So emotions, thank God we have them, is a warning system. And usually this warning system begins with a whisper telling us that there's a little bit of discomfort here. Unfortunately, in our society, we are so busy. I was busy, you are busy, achieving, setting goals, chasing the money, being on social media, busy, busy, busy all the time. You're always doing that. Your body's whispering to you and you can't hear. And when we don't hear the whispers of the body, the warnings are going to get loud. The warnings then can come in a form of a cold or a flu to make you slow down. That warning can come in the form of a small accident. You twist your ankle and you refuse to slow down. You refuse to pay attention to the body. And then you get here with a 2x4. You might have a bigger accident, or you might, face an autoimmune disease or something like that. I'm not wishing you to have any of those things. I am here to say, hear the whisper. If your body is whispering, you hear that voice because you're all very intuitive beings. You hear that voice, and usually comes like this. It starts like this. Oh, I should slow down. I should take some time off. I should sleep a little bit longer. I should eat healthier. I should start working out. I should go see a therapist. I should call Alex. So the whisper usually begins with this, I should, and yet you don't take the action. And then other things happen and you might suppress. You might say, I don't have time for therapy right now. I don't have time for coaching right now. I don't have a time to meditate for 30 minutes right now. So it starts with shoulds and then starts to suppress. It can happen in order. It's not necessarily in order, but I'm just giving a few tips here. How do you know these whispers are already happening? Okay. Or you start feeling off. You start feeling a sense that something's missing. You're not fulfilled. You're super busy, but you don't feel like you're progressing in life. Some type of crisis would tell you that it's time for you to pause and address that issue. Okay, I met with a friend last week that he needed to get to a place where he was basically having panic attacks and anger bouts. It got so bad that he decided to do some deeper healing, work with a shaman, for example, right? Because he had done a lot of talk therapy and it didn't help him. Now, I'm not here to tell you, go to the jungle and do some plant medicines. I'm never gonna do that. I'm here to just tell you that if you're somebody who also has tried a lot of things and you're still experiencing a lot of disturbances in your body, that sometimes it's a good idea to explore different models of therapy. And there are many good ones. You can always reach out, talk to me about different models of therapy, or talk to your friends who have done therapy. There are many models of therapy, and you need to find the one that fits you the best. Okay, so now that I explained to you a little bit about how anxiety is the byproduct of beliefs, of unresolved trauma. Now let's talk about the healing process. So let's say you're watching this video and you say, Alex, I don't have any money right now, and I really need to start doing some healing right now. So I want to help you out to start healing for free. What can you do right now that is free and is going to help you to start healing? Number one rule of healing. After awareness, of course, you're aware that you need to do some work, and we all do, by the way. There's no shame on that. I'm doing it. I work with therapists. I work with shamans myself. So I find the teachers to help me to always evolve. So number one thing is to make sure you are resting. Resting is the place you start. Especially if you're dealing with anxiety. Anxiety is a state of high energy. Anxiety is a state that keeps you in survival. That means your nervous system is over aroused. The amygdala in your brain, parts of your brain are overactive. So it's like your body is locked on a stress response. So the first thing to start healing, especially if we talk about anxiety, that's what I am addressing the most in this video. You need to rest. You need to make sure you're sleeping, and most people who are dealing with anxiety can't sleep well. So you need to address your sleep. Okay? Few strategies. Turn off your computers, turn off your TV, turn off the lights, an hour before you go to bed. Don't be reading your iPad, your phone before bed. Don't check emails 2 hours before you go to bed. Create an environment that it's suiting for sleep. Do whatever you can. Turn your Wi-Fi off at night, because sometimes the electromagnetic frequencies, EMF, are contributing to your anxiety. Turn your Wi-Fi off. Those are just some tips. Take a hot bath. Meditate, find a sleeping meditation. Go to Dr. Joe Dispenza or the resources and find a meditation to use at night to sleep. Okay? Do whatever you can to get 8 hours of sleep. Okay? And then be careful with caffeine. If you're somebody struggling with a lot of anxiety, cut your amount of caffeine in half, if possible, completely for 30 days. Now, if it's going to freak you out to cut caffeine, just replace, instead of having a full cup of coffee, have espresso. Like I had here, a little bit of espresso with water. The amount of caffeine is much less than a full cup of coffee. So use some strategies around that. So address your sleep and schedule resting time, like at lunchtime. Instead of working, eating in front of your computer, take a lunch break. Take an hour lunch break, eat your lunch, maybe listening to some calm music, okay? Listening to some meditation, something, or seeing beautiful pictures of nature, and go take a walk. Spring's here, weather's nice, go take a walk without your phone. Walking can be very calming, okay? Go play with your pets, go touch your cat, your dog, okay? Go hug a tree, whatever it takes. Calm your nervous system down. You need to rest. Why rest is so important when you're healing? Healing anything, by the way. Because if you are in a in survival mode, your stress response is turned on, there's no healing. Biologically, it's impossible for your body, your brain, your mind to heal, to repair, to grow if you are in a stress response. Biologically, it's impossible. I'm really speaking about biology here. So first, you need to turn your stress response off. Okay, so sleep, rest, deep rest, number one. Number two, meditate. 20 minutes, make 20 minutes. If you're a beginner meditator, start with guided meditations. There are plenty of free meditations out there. Deepak Chopra, and there's like so many meditation teachers out there. I don't even know all the names now because there's so many. Go on YouTube, find a free meditation, 20 minutes, and make a priority. You need to make your healing, you need to make resting your priority. If you're already, saying in the back of your mind, I don't have time, I don't have 20 minutes to meditate, then you're not committed to your healing, to your growth, to your own evolution. So you need to make a priority. We all so good making priority with our work. We prioritize, many things in our lives that are not necessarily making us healthy. We prioritize going to a bar and drinking, right? As a society, we prioritize going to a bar and eating junk food. We prioritize, time on social media. We prioritize going out and spending, silly money on things we don't need. So we all got the time. You need to prioritize your healing. You need to prioritize your well-being. You need to prioritize your happiness and health. So yes, you do have 20 minutes to meditate. You just need to be better at allocating your time. Okay. So rest, meditation, and start eliminating foods that are not good for you. Eliminate junk food. Eliminate the foods that are contributing to disharmony and disease. If you're eating a lot of processed junk food, that is contributing to your anxiety because those foods are loaded with chemicals that your body doesn't recognize, genetically modified organisms your body doesn't recognize. So there's a lot of anxiety from food because your body doesn't recognize those nutrients. They're not even nutrients, the chemicals your body doesn't recognize, and it's causing extra stress in your body. Now you might say, well, this is not free, Alex, because I'm going to eliminate the junk food and I'm going to replace with something. Well, yes, again, it's going to cost a few extra dollars. And if money is a struggle right now for you, you can't afford organic food, replacing junk food for even some regular vegetables and, free range meats right now is going to help you out. Okay. And then see how you can allocate your finances so you can afford organic food, grass-fed, organic meats that come from good resources, so will help your body to heal. So those two first things were free, okay? And third thing is going to involve a little allocation of your money. Start selling things. Like when I closed my business a few months ago, then I needed some money. I start selling a lot of things. Go to your garage right now and see what can you sell. Go to your closet. Can you put some clothes in consignment? Start selling things, get some extra money, and go buy healthy foods. Okay, but start with rest. Resting is free. It's the most important thing for you to do right now if you're in a state of anxiety, state of stress, and you want to start healing. So those are the things you want to start doing. Because, remember, our choices have consequences. You have great consequences of making healthy choices, and you're not going to have healthy consequences if you don't take care of this anxiety. Because if you keep running anxiety, that creates more stress, more anxiety. It damages your brain. It starts to compromise your memory. Okay. It makes your brain vulnerable to toxins, makes your body vulnerable to toxins, creates, because your cortisol level will be so high, it will create hormonal imbalances. It will create belly fat. Your body's going to hold that belly fat. That doesn't matter what you do. It's going to stay there. Okay. And you're going to stay locked in survival. And a brain in survival is not a brain that is creative, that is insightful, that is intuitive. You cannot tap into the potential of the field, the potential of the cosmos, the potential that is right here around you. You cannot touch the potential in the possibility field if you're locked in a state of survival. So there's so many reasons to heal. And I'm going to give you the most important one. You are the most important one, first of all. But I'm going to give you another one. When you heal, you are changing the world. When you heal, your energy changes. You inspire other people to heal. When you heal, your light shines brighter. So when you heal, you are helping the planet to heal. You want to make a difference in the world? That is the most important thing. And that's the most loving thing you can do to heal yourself. Because guess what? When you heal yourself, everybody around you will notice, and they get to experience you fully in your heart with no anxiety, no stress. People get to experience more of you, of who you are in your essence. So when you heal, it's a win-win-win, my friend. You win. Your loving ones win, and the planet wins. So do whatever it takes. Make a priority to heal yourself, heal your body, heal your mind, heal from your past traumas, heal from limiting beliefs. And if I can be any support, let's just start with a conversation to see if I'm the right person that can help you healing. We can start with a 30-minute phone call, free on me, just to see if I can support you. And if I'm not the person to support you, I'm going to point you to the right direction and give you some names, because I know a dream team. I have a dream team of healers around me. I know so many amazing healers, from nutritionists to shamans. I got all covered. And there are many people that I don't even know around there that, you might know as well already. So let's heal ourselves, so we can liberate others to heal, and we can heal our planet. That's my message today. If you like this video, please share, help me to grow this community. And I'm so grateful to have you there, taking the time, give me your energy, space in your day to watch my videos and become the best version of yourself, because you're worth it. And I love you, and I talk to you very soon. Thank you so much. Mwah.